I'd rather spend my money with the white man.
House niggas eyes. I just want you to understand that.
We tired of racism. No, we're not. Not the way we spend. Black people, did you know in America there are about 40 million black people who spend about $1.4 trillion a year on goods and services? Of that number, 98% of it is spent with people who do not look like us.
Corporations are raising prices even as they rake in record profits.
Prices at the pump have gone up. Why? Well, let me give you a hint.
Senator Elizabeth Warren.
This isn't about inflation. This is about price gouging.
If we do a price comparison, you can see my cost is way cheaper than Walmart. So we have to understand that black people are some of the biggest white supremacists that you're gonna ever come across.
3% is spent in the black community with people that don't look like us, but what's sad is that 95% is spent outside of the black community with the very same people that we claim are oppressing us.
According to this chart, what is the biggest driver of inflation during the pandemic? The blue is the dark blue is the recent period.
It would be corporate profits.
And what is that percentage?
It is 54%, and that number does stay that level of high if you update that number to more recent numbers as well.
Come on, my black people, we need to wake up. Black people are some of the biggest white supremacists. Versus my price, $5.
So over half of the increased prices people are paying are coming from increases in corporate profits.
Yes.
Because I'm in front of Walmart right now selling products. So you would notice the size of Walmart parking lot. Notice the race of people in Walmart parking lot, black people. So black people ride past me selling products cheaper than Walmart, higher quality than Walmart, but will prefer to support their oppressor rather than support one of their own.
CEO of Kroger recently said,
a little bit of inflation is always good in our business.
Lindsay Owens runs a progressive economic think tank that scours the earnings calls corporations hold for stock analysts and investors, like this one from Constellation Brands, which sells beer, wine, and spirits.
We're going to look at this on a market-by-market basis, brand-by-brand basis, and we'll take as much pricing as we think the consumer can absorb.
Dishwashing liquid, gallons, $10. That's how much they charge at Walmart. 75 ounces. I'll sell 128 ounces for $10. They sell you 75 ounces for $8.94.
Black people have to ask us an honest question. In what world can you give away 98% of your economic buying power to your historical arch nemesis and honestly believe that we're about to come up? I mean, make it make sense. That doesn't sound like a group of people that is tired of racism. It sounds like a group of people that is funding it.
Say it again. I'd rather spend my money with the white man.
House niggas eyes. I just want you to understand that.
It is this mentality that allows Europeans to continuously to raise prices in our community without us having the ability to protest it, because we have closed out creating alternatives to the Fortune 500 companies that monopolize the retail market within our community. It is us who is leaving us subjected to these people's malicious, malice ways.
The unit price index is reflected in corporate profits as opposed to other costs.
And how does that compare to historically to other periods of inflation or over other periods of economic time?
As reflected there and in other analysis, it is significantly higher in this recovery, 11.5%.
And what is it today?
53%.
So I want to make sure everyone in America understands this chart. What is a unit labor cost?
The cost in wages and associated work costs.
So we could just wages. What is a non-labor input cost?
A variety of things, including maintenance and investments.
Okay, so I have to buy the stuff to make the widget. I have to have a factory. I have to keep the lights on. I have to hire someone to make the widget. That's this stuff. And this is what I add on top.
Black people will complain about inflation, cost rising, but a steady support the people who are price gouging you.
Favorite examples is Tyson Foods.
Purveyor of 1 out of every 5 pounds of beef, chicken, and pork sold in the U.S. Here's Tyson's chief financial officer on their latest quarterly results.
Our pricing actions led to approximately $2.1 billion in sales and price mix benefit during the quarter, which offset the higher cost of goods sold of $1.6 billion.
In other words, says Owens,
our pricing is taking into account the cost of raw materials and the cost of labor, but more than offsetting it. And that more than offsetting it is that additional profit that they're able to bring in.
And the lack of understanding of basic economics means that with more competition, you get better price comparisons. $425 loads, $30.
Black people, the solution was and will forever be simple. Buy black as if your lives depend on it. Buy black by any means necessary. Black people practicing group economics is so important. It's so important.
Say it again.
I'd rather spend my money with the white man.
House niggas eyes. I just want you to understand that.
But in a competitive market economy, won't newcomers emerge, offering lower prices? That's a lot less likely these days, say Rabowen and Reich.
75% of all American industries have become more concentrated in the last 2 decades.
Most are now dominated by a handful of corporations that coordinate prices and production. This is true of banks, broadband, pharmaceutical companies, airlines, meat packers.
You got 4 basic meat packing facilities, and you pay a hell of a lot more because there's only 4.
Now, it's not literally just 4, but 4 do dominate the market. And it's not just meat.
See what's happening with ocean carriers. During the pandemic, about half a dozen foreign-owned companies raised prices by as much as 1,000% and made record profits.
The tradition.
However, when a black man is in your community offering those same products not stolen at a cheaper price than Fortune 500 companies, they have trained you so well to leave yourself dependent on people who have shown you they will continually driven up the profit rather than give yourself an alternative by supporting the competition and circulating wealth in your community.
Greed is good.
Yes, that Gordon Gekko.
Greed works.
What we're seeing in this moment is really when that profit maximization and opportunity collides. And the opportunity is the cover of inflation.
Aha. The opportunity caused by the pandemic.
Say it again.
I'd rather spend my money with the white man.
House niggas eyes. I just want you to understand that. How you doing? My name is Antonio. My page is Unapologetically Black ADOS on YouTube. I ask that you like and subscribe to the page and share this video. We must understand, black people, that sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And these type of thinking processes are what contribute to us remaining in our current plight. Our unwillingness to support one another is harmful to us as a people, and is how we is passing down our condition from generation to generation. This woman should be ashamed of herself, but she's so caught up in her ignorance that she was willing to repeat it for me while I pulled out my phone and recorded it.
Our inputs, but in reality, companies aren't being forced to raise prices because of inflation. They're raising prices because they can.
And why can they now, with so little resistance, I asked Rabowen.
Say it again. I'd rather spend my money with the white man. not a problem.
House niggas eyes. I just want you to understand that. It is the training that they have projected upon the black community that will allow us to think in such a way that leaves us subjugated to people who have continuously worked to economically castrate our community.
Hold up that chart, and you'll see unit labor costs incredibly low relative to where there has been on average, relatively speaking, in terms of what is contributing to the prices. Corporate profits, the biggest element of this.
And for her to think that way, being a fast food worker for a Fortune 500 company that is not trickling down those earnings to its employees, is another example of how shameful and ignorant her comments are. Because we are continuously fighting for a minimum of $15 minimum wage for fast food workers. It is sad how people will work against their own self-interest due to training that has been embedded in them to self-hate their own people.
Inflation sort of disguises these price increases. When prices for everything around you are rising, it's much easier for companies to raise their prices and not experience that consumer blowback.
The point is, when consumers come to expect inflation, the process can begin to feed on itself.
Companies know that consumers expect higher prices right now, and they're really seeing how far they can push that.
And says Robert Reich, Wall Street is egging them on, saying,
look, this is a great time to raise your profit margins. And of course, those Wall Streeters are saying the same thing to everybody else in the industry.
How you doing? My name is Antonio. My page is Unapologetically Black ADOS on YouTube. I ask that you like and subscribe to the page and share this video. We must understand, black people, that sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And these type of thinking processes are what contribute to us remaining in our current plight. Our unwillingness to support one another is harmful to us as a people, and is how we is passing down our condition from generation to generation. This woman should be ashamed of herself, but she's so caught up in her ignorance that she was willing to repeat it for me while I pulled out my phone and recorded it.